right. Well, let's get into something. Even Stephanie can jump in on this. I'm going to assume a heterosexual female's viewpoint on this.
I don't know. It depends on what John's identifying as.
Well,
right
that's
now.
what I said. I'm making the assumption.
All right.
Last week we covered a story called chemsex, and apparently we in this country or even in this world are having difficulty for. I don't know what it is with the men of this world.
Right.
They're having difficulty accepting their role as men in this world. I don't know why they want to be women. They want to be gay. They want to be, everything other than being a man.
Right.
I just don't understand it. Now, Stephanie, you're a very attractive woman.
Oh, thank you, sweetie.
And a normal, and I'm going to phrase the term normal as a heterosexual man who appreciates the company of a woman. Now, what is your viewpoint? What is your personal viewpoint on what's going on in this world with all this transgenderism and all this gay, everything's gay these days, and, everybody's identifying as something other than what they are anyway. As a heterosexual female, what are your thoughts on what's going on today?
I think everybody, not just the transgenders, everybody, they're a bunch of bitches. Everybody's a fucking bitch these days. We have to apologize for hurting people's feelings, apologize for this, apologize for that, baby, everybody's turning into a bunch of bitches. And not that, I'm not, like, saying transgenders in general, or, like, specifically, but it's like this, not because they're transgenders, it's because of the generation that's coming up. They feel that they're owed something, just like kids feel like they're owed something. Gays feel like they're owed something. Straight people feel like they're owed something. Women feel like they're owed something. Everybody feels like they're owed something. Just fucking live. I want to go to the bathroom and just go to the bathroom. I don't give a shit if you've got a...
Or take one.
If you've got a dick or a vagina and you're in the stall next to me, I really freaking don't. Just leave me alone.
Right.
Sorry. I mean, I'm that girl that on St. Patrick's Day I go to a bar and the women's bathroom, the line is backed way up. I'm going to sneak into the men's.
Well, see, here's the difference, though. Guys don't care.
Guys don't care.
If a girl comes in there and does her business.
What about if there's a 60-year-old creeper in the fucking bathroom, though, Steph? And Drew goes in there.
Like, by creeper, first of all, how am I going to know?
Because you saw him, and you just...
so I'm in the bathroom with Drew.
No, you saw him walk in there.
Okay, how do I know he's a creeper?
You
assume.
You were observing his behavior before he went in there.
You saw him pushing the merry-go-round with like 14 kids, none of them being his.
I guess what I would do is just follow her in there and just...
Yeah.
Stay in there.
The guy's wearing a raincoat.
I'm not going to start shit I don't know. Maybe he's just a weirdo.
All right. Well, see, but you said a weirdo. So basically, you would go into protective mode in some regard.
Yeah.
Not that you would act on anything,
right.
But you would still go into protective mode.
I'm not going to go on fucking strike.
That's not what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But you would still be vigilant.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be.
Make sure.
Yeah. So you would be on your guard, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what Chris is asking.
Oh. Yes, Chris, I will be on guard.
Yeah.
What if you saw this guy and he was wearing a raincoat and no pants? Would you go in there and yank Drew out of that bathroom?
Yeah, I would rush her.
Would you?
Yeah. Just probably because I'm going to assume. He's not wearing any pants and he's wearing a raincoat.
Right.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me ask again. What's the temperature? Is it raining?
90 and hot.
Okay.
So hot.
So hot.
Right.
You can see the steam coming up from under the jacket.
I mean, you never know. It could have a swim trunks on under
Sure.
there. You just don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
but the thing is that you're regardless of the situation, you're still a little. You're not at ease with it. You're still like, something's a little off here.
Right. Well,
It's not that you're going to get confrontational. It's just that you're going to be like, yeah, you know what? I think I better kind of like, kind of maybe stay close or step in or keep an eye out,
Definitely. Definitely. I wasn't even the one that would send my kids into the bathroom by themselves.
All right.
Or Dominic would go into the women's bathroom with me.
So isn't that a responsible reaction?
Yeah.
Okay. But so would you find it off-putting if somebody called you a bigot for having that reaction?
Would I be pissed off somebody said that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you. That's my kid.
Yeah, but it was harmless.
I don't know that. If he's walking in there in a raincoat, and that's it.
Wow, look at you. You let common sense prevail.
Yeah, I'm kind of smart like that.
Right.
Language.
All right, well...
I have to watch my mouth now.
Listen to this story here.
All right, let's go.
Stephanie. The thing is that Chris and I have had many stories on the show that we showcase this attitude that we're being forced to accept, or they're trying to force people to accept that if you are vigilant, like you just described, that there's something wrong with you for being vigilant. Because you're being a bigot, or you're being a racist, or you're being a homophobe, or you're being this because you're not accepting of quote-unquote weird people or the weird activities of people because you're a little bit leery because it's not normal.
Everybody just needs to quit being little bitches about everything. Go to the bathroom in your own goddamn bathroom.
Sure.
Quit whining about it. Quit getting pissed off that somebody may say something that hurts your feelings. Just get the fuck over it. Everybody's a bunch of pussies.
Right, I agree.
Everybody.
I agree.
Get the fuck over it.
Well,
millennials.
Yes. Well, I don't even think it's so much that, but and I'm going to get into just one small thing here, and then I'm going to get to the story. But something that I brought up here on the show on numerous occasions, and I don't know if you've noticed it at all, but I think due to broken families, and I understand that you've been married and divorced and whatnot, but because of broken families these days, the young people don't have the structure and the guidance and the upbringing that maybe they could. And this is a good reason I'm asking you the question, because you've experienced this on a personal level. But one of the things that I've noticed that 9 times out of 10, when there's a broken family that have children involved, the mother ends up being the caretaker of the children out of the marriage more often than not. And what I've noticed personally is that, like, if I'm out in public and I go to like a gas station or something and I'm pumping gas, I see a car pull in, it's got a young couple in the car. More often than not now these days, I see the girl is driving. And she gets out and pumps the gas, and the guy is sitting in the passenger seat, texting on his phone or playing video games or whatever the hell he's doing. She pays for the gas. She goes into the...
Java chat.
What are you guys doing? Shut up over there.
I see chat.
She goes over there. She goes into the gas station. She buys the snacks and whatever, and she gives it to the guy in the passenger seat, and then they drive off together. Well, I look at this as, well, this is what mom always did. Now I found a girl who does the same thing as mom did. And this guy acts like a kid. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so these guys are becoming almost neutered. That's the only way I can describe it. Any thoughts on that?
Oh, yeah, I have a shit ton of thoughts on that.
All right, go ahead.
I can't even tell you where I'm going to start on that. I think that's a very good point. It is true. Women end up with the kids a lot more often than the fathers.
Yes.
And I can see where you're saying that this is what they see.
Masterboard, you.
I can't. I have a problem with the whole whatever your kid does, it's the parents' fault because it's the way they were raised.
Well, you don't think that has any effect?
I think it does, but also on the other hand, if you're a human person with a brain and you can think for yourself, you are responsible for your own.
Well, I agree.
decisions.
I agree. But Chris came from a home that, his parents stayed together, and I came from a home where my parents stayed together, and well, regardless, but I think, and I could be wrong, but I think that I'm a pretty well-adjusted person. And I think Chris is a well-adjusted person. Well, I mean,
I don't know about that one.
Well,
I'm
no,
sorry,
I mean,
yes.
but I mean, he's a responsible guy. He owns his own home, and he's got several businesses, and he's an author, and he's motivated, and he works, and he pays his bills, and he takes care of his kids, and he does, all the things that are responsible that a normal, responsible person does. You know what I'm saying? But I know.
Thank you. Someone finally gets it.
But I see a lot of kids, younger people these days that want, and like you just said, everybody's a pussy and they're bitches and they're whining and this and that, and they won't just buck up and go out there and achieve and all the things that they need to do to be responsible people. And I personally, just from observation, I attribute this to broken homes because these kids don't have that, that upbringing.
I mean, how many, if you look at it now, most families are broken.
That's what I'm saying, but this is why there's an epidemic
that's the normal.
Right. So now we've got a whole generation of people that whine and snivel and bitch and moan and cry and their gender identity and they're confused and everything's fucked up and so what that's kind of where I was going with this. But a couple of things Chris and I have covered on the show over the last, I don't know, maybe the last year or so, is just this whole gay thing. Okay, this always seems to be in the forefront of the news. I don't know because it's sensationalized or whether it's true or whether it's just because it's clickbait or whatever you want to call it. But you were brought up in the 80s, and do you remember what the 80s were all about when it came to social diseases? What was the biggest fear? AIDS. Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. So AIDS is on the rise again. Okay, here we are in 2016. Okay, we're 30 years removed from the 80s. The biggest scare of AIDS, because we understood what it was, finally.
Right.
And everybody's like, oh, my God, this is horrible. We can't do this. And they discovered that AIDS is transmitted through sex and blood, be it intravenous needle use, sharing needles, or unprotected sex. Well, it's on the rise again. I don't know if you're aware of that or not.
No, I actually haven't heard
It's
that.
very much on the rise again. And, of course, what is the target group that more often than not that AIDS affects? Who?
White guys.
What?
Who? What demographic does AIDS?
Gay men.
Right, gay men. Why do you think that is?
Personally, and I don't want to get attacked here,
Well,
but
again, I'm just asking the question. Why do you think that is?
I personally, because I think from the gay guys that I know,
Okay.
they're not the older ones, but the younger ones. From what I see, they're a lot of them are quite risk takers.
There you go. Perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for. They participate in high risk behavior.
Right.
Now, in everything that we've learned, we as older adults now, we know that this high risk behavior is conducive to perpetuating this disease and whatnot.
Right.
And at this point, knowing what we've learned 3 decades ago, that should be almost wiped out, or it should be. But now it's like totally like disregarded again, and it's just like, what, fuck it,
I think that maybe because it was kind of going away, people just kind of thought it really went away.
Yeah.
and just quit taking precautions.
All right. Well, Chris and I did a story last week on what they call chemsex. Are you familiar with this?
No.
There's a rise in the gay community, mostly the gay men, who basically take these mind-altering drugs in order to enhance their sexual experience.
Oh.
And it's killing them because they're ODing.
Oh, Jesus.
And all this chemical sex is what it is. Now, HIV again is on the rise because of the high-risk behavior. Now, I'm going to read a story here, and I want you to comment along the way, since you're sitting here as a heterosexual woman. A map documenting HIV rates for gay and bisexual men has revealed they are most at risk for becoming infected in multiple southern cities, according to a report being presented today by Emory University Research. The cities are the highest rates, including Columbia, South Carolina, El Paso, Texas, and Jackson, Mississippi. In these cities, more than 25% of men who have had sex with men have been diagnosed with HIV. That's 1 in 4.
Jeez.
1 in 4. Okay?
Oh, my God. Okay.
Okay. This is really the first time we've been able to examine the HIV infection burden, such as fine levels of geography. Eli Rosenberg, assistant professor of epidemiology at Emory's Rollins School of Public Health, she said during the conference today. According to the report, the South is the home to 21 of 25 metropolitan areas with the highest HIV prevalence among the male sex with male, MSM is what they call it. So apparently the southern guys like to cornhole a lot.
Jesus.
That's what I'm gathering from this story anyway. The analysis provides new evidence of a growing disparity between the HIV epidemic in the South relative to the rest of the U.S., but it is unclear whether this says more about rising transmission rates in the South or the public health successes in other regions. Overall, gay and bisexual men are more than 57 times more likely to be diagnosed with HIV than other men in the U.S., the study says.
Like I said, it's the risk and I think also now it's so much coming out that you're gay is not a big deal.
Sure.
So everybody's more relaxed in coming out that they're gay. Therefore, there's more people out there.
Sure.
And they're younger. You know what I mean? Like, it's because the younger generation, it's okay. We're gay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's not a big deal. But the younger people are also, whether they're gay or straight, are experiencing things for the first time in their lives. But at the same time, I'm sorry, I'm trying to, concentrate on this, but I've got this one in here throwing a big fit. So, it's hard to concentrate. I'm just saying, I think that the gay guys, they're more risk takers. They don't have to worry about coming out as gay as the risk.
Okay.
So that's not the big high for them. They got to get a high from something else, which they start doing more of these drugs, like you were saying.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And then when you're high or you're on something, you don't think clearly, to use protection and that kind of stuff. It's not even what you're worried about.
Right. Where HIV is most problem are places that are failing gay men, said Georgia Alaya, executive director of the Global Forum of MSN and HIV, a leading advocacy group that was not involved in the report. Where health systems fail, according to Alaya, is the process of identifying people who have HIV and immediately linking them with care. Gay and bisexual men may or may not are likely to face additional barriers such as poverty and stigma, he said.
Wow.
So basically, Chris and I did a story not long ago that that a lot of gays and transgenders live in poverty because of their choices, and they're blaming what you want to call straight people for their quote unquote bigotry and homosexual their what do you want to call their homophobia for rejecting for rejecting these people because they're just like, it's like I don't want anything to do with that, But you see,
what do I have to do with why Bozo's living in a cardboard box cornholed? I mean, like, that's not anything to do with me.
Sure. But that makes you a bigot.
I don't care. I don't think I'm a bigot.
Sure.
I love everybody, but I don't love stupid people.
Right.
I don't. And there's nothing I hate more than somebody that is in a situation and blames somebody else for what they do.
Sure.
So
what? Personal responsibility? What is that about? Aren't you supposed to just be, watching over other people and making sure they don't make mistakes?
And that's exactly what is going on these days, is you're not allowed to punish your kids. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do that. They're not allowed to be losers. They're not allowed to... Everybody's a winner, and...
Everybody gets a trophy.
Yeah, everybody gets a trophy.
Just for participating.
So when something happens in life, it's somebody else's fault. It's never your own.
Sure, absolutely.
It's dumb.
Well, the other thing is that Chris and I have discussed is that there's a reason why people reject the homosexual community because of their...
Stop yelling, cocksucker!
Fuck off! Whoever thought it was funny to
Stop yelling! Stop yelling.
Things are coming apart here.
It's falling apart.
I don't give a fuck! No, they don't!
Alcohol. Gotta love it.
And here we thought Chris was going to be the guy.
I know, everybody thought I was going to be the one acting like a dick.
Oh, I didn't. I knew this was coming.
It wasn't me.
You can't start drinking that early and drink that heavily and not
I did.
and expect it to end out well.
Well,
So.
I don't give a fuck!
We know.
So he's upset that people drew on him.
All right. Well,
And I just pointed out that about a month ago, everybody was asleep at his drummer's house. And if Amber's still listening, she can attest to this, where he and her daughter, a young girl, he hung out with the young girl. They were writing on people and putting food on people. And he thought it was hilarious.
Sure.
It was hilarious, but since somebody did it to him, he's cussing and throwing a fit.
Right.
It's
Like
funny when it's the
an
other
infant.
person.
Sure.
So,
All right. We'll get it. And you've been very insightful here. I like your insights. Because federal and state funding for HIV prevention can be directed to where the disease hits hardest, knowing where HIV is most concentrated may enable public health agencies and local organizations to tweak how they distribute resources at the local level, according to Rosenberg. So, again, now that people make personal decisions, now it's time for organizations and stuff to get involved to say, okay, well, we're going to fix this for you now.
oh, let me hold your hand.
Yes.
And fix what you did to yourself. Ugh.
So,
That's just, I mean, you know what? It to me, it's like all in the same category as I'm going to sit on fucking welfare and not do anything for my life, and then you guys, the government's going to keep giving me money,
right,
and I'm not going to do shit,
right,
and you're going to keep giving me money because poor me, I'm poor.
Yeah, I'm not going to improve my situation.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm not going to take care of myself. I'm not going to make good choices. I'm going to keep being an asshole, and then you're going to keep supporting me while I do it. I mean, it's all fucked.
Sure.
It's all fucked.
Yep.
We really want this to be a tool for public health practitioners and policymakers. While the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention publishes the prevalence of HIV among different races and age groups, it reports only the raw numbers of cases among the males on sex, male with male sex. The Emory research used more national surveys, such as the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, to estimate where MSM are distributed across the country. Estimates of MSM by race are also not available, though the CDC estimates in February that half of black MSM and a quarter of Latino MSM will be diagnosed with HIV in their lifetime. So here again, the black community is one of the highest in HIV, but the black community also has a 72% out-of-wedlock childbirth rate. 72%.
Jesus
So do you
Christ.
think there's any correlation, Stephanie? No. I'm just asking your opinion. There's no right or wrong answer. I'm asking for an opinion.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it's. I'm trying to answer this like the best way I can with trying to ignore what's going on.
Well, again,
in the other room at the same time.
there's no right or wrong answer. I'm just asking for your opinion.
I think that most of these studies probably take place in larger cities, right?
Well, probably in metropolitan areas.
Oh, thank you. Will they reach them? Okay, now I can't.
All right. So it's in metropolitan
That's so true.
metropolitan areas mostly.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say that a lot of like those places. What's the matter? Okay. Most of the population in inner city usually is African American,
Right.
or Spanish, which maybe that would have something to do with it.
But they have the highest rates of HIV infections among all HIV infections.
Oh, I don't know, dude. That I don't really have a comment on because I'm from Lima.
All right. Well, fair enough.
I'm not real and with kids, high school kids. When I graduated 10 years ago,
Yes.
I swear,
Yes.
only 10 years ago,
Right.
it was strictly weed.
Sure.
That was it.
Right.
If you were known to, even take a hit off a joint, you were a pothead. You were a druggie.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. But nobody did anything else.
Right.
Maybe like some speed or some freaking, I don't know, just to stay up all
some
night and
acid.
sneak out of the house. Acid. Yeah, I heard a couple people did that. But, I mean, now it's like, what is like getting high off weed, like drinking alcohol to these kids? Where it's like, oh, that's nothing. I'm just going to go out and shoot up some heroin.
Right.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Let's go snort some flower seeds and I don't know. It's stupid, but it's like they have to go to the next level. Everything has to be more dangerous.
Right.
Everything has to be a gamble. Maybe it's fun for them to risk fucking somebody without a condom.
I guess.
I don't know.
Merriman.
I'm so glad I don't have little kids anymore. I am done. Dominic's it.
Merriman said that the major focus of HIV prevention programs will be expanding access to HIV testing, treatment, and pre-exposure prophylaxis. I never heard of that, especially among gay and bisexual men of color and transgender individuals. So see here again, these people who we're supposedly being bigoted against or discriminating against, these are the people with the highest issues. And normal people what, and I'm using the term normal, and some people would find that offensive because I said normal.
Oh my God.
Those people are the ones who go, you know what? This is the reason why people reject you, is because of this kind of a thing.
Right.
Right.
And it's just like, this is not a good behavior, and then that's not to say that straight heterosexual people don't contract diseases, because they do, but they don't contract them at the rate and the highest risk factor that these people do, because basically what this is telling us, at least this story, is these guys will just fuck anything. I mean, really, they will.
Yeah. From the way it sounds.
Yeah.
I just
And it's always the, again, the gays, the bisexuals, the transgenders, all these people who have these issues, and we're all supposed to be just accepting of that.
But is it more like maybe the straight people aren't talking about it as much or admitting to it?
Well, the thing is, I think people are afraid to even discuss it in public because of
they're not allowed to.
That's my point, because everybody's afraid of being called a name, or you're a bigot, or you're a homophobe, or you're
you can't have an opinion
you
anymore.
can't have that because you're just you're judging me, man.
Don't judge me.
You're judging me, man. So
God.
I mean, it's just a mess. I don't know what the answer is. The CDC embarks on earmarks targeting funds as a supplement to the state and the local health departments. So again, we're just going to throw money at this, and it's just going to make it go away.
Which technically comes out of my pocket.
Of course,
it's
it's taxes.
Yeah.
According to the CDC study, these programs could prevent up to 70% of new infections over the next 5 years. Now, I don't know how they're going to do this, because can you legislate behavior?
That's what I was going to say. What, are they going to walk around with him
say,
at all times?
no,
Don't do that. Not him.
No.
Not him. He's clearly infected with HIV.
Right.
Pick that one.
That's why experts say it is important that southern states and cities get on board. CDC data shows that the southern lags behind the rest of the U.S. when it comes to the HIV positive people getting the treatment they need, or even know they're infected in the first place. You see disease concentrated in places that are poorly supported in terms of health infrastructure, says Elia. Those things are really important part of the story to tell about HIV in the United States. So basically what they're saying is these people don't know any better. So who teaches you to know better?
Your parents?
Your parents?
Yeah,
so that goes back to my original discussion leading up to this story. It's just like, do you think that the broken homes has contributed to this outbreak of...
Yeah, actually. Yeah, now. But like I said, it's not the norm anymore to get married.
Right. It doesn't help.
So that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying is these people who are banging out kids and not raising them properly, or there's no, structure in the home, or there's no,
People are too nosy anymore to have kids.
Well,
They're too worried about everybody else and what's going on Facebook. And
sure. Chris Aiken has remained silent through most of this conversation.
I'm just listening. I'm just drinking my beer and listening, man.
So, do you have anything to add, sir?
No, I definitely think it's behavior that's fucking not being taught right by the fucking parents. It's that simple. Parents need to be busting these kids' ass the minute they say that minute their son says that they want to fucking suck a dick, they need to get belted in the mouth.
But see, that's illegal. You can't belt your kids.
It's like, dude, go get him a stripper or something. Fucking teach him to be a man.
All right.
Well,
one last thing, Stephanie. I'm gonna put you on the spot here a little bit.
Oh boy.
If your son came to you and told you that he preferred to suck a dick,
Dominic.
He already has.
what would your reaction be, and would you try to discourage that behavior?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't discourage it?
No, that's what. If he's gay, he's gay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But what if it isn't like psychological or whatever? Maybe it's just like I'm not really sure how I need to conduct myself. I would
educate him on how to safely conduct himself as a gay male.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
I'm not going to be like, oh, well, then you're gay, so that means you need to go to every, party there is, every rave, and fuck every guy in the ass. Not going to happen.
Well, see, this is why I like you, Stephanie, because you're very open and you're honest and you're forthright, and you've been a good co-host in this segment because you've Put it out there on the
Because I
line.
cuss a lot.
Look at even Rockin' Randy is applauding you.
Slow golf
Well, he's
clap.
giving me the royal clap
Yeah, he's
because I'm
giving you-
royalty.
he's-
Queen CMS.
So did you enjoy that segment, Randy?
That was educational,
Okay, so I need to go to the restroom.
That's okay.
In the shared restroom, where boys and girls
Yeah.
can go. So none of you peepers come in, okay? You keep your perverts.
All right. Well, let's have a hand for Stephanie. She stepped up to the plate. Good job.
No transgenders allowed in this bathroom.
Give me a hand.
All right. Who's gonna take Stephanie's mic over there? Are you gonna
It's gonna be
sit in
hard.
there, Rockin' Randy?
I'm gonna escape
Sure.
into the studio, actually.
Jump in. Somebody.
The Rockin' Randy.
All I know is
As Queen Stephanie makes her exit.
in the kitchen.
Right.
To the, what would that be? 3 different sexes now can go into a. If there's only one restroom there.
3 different sexes.
Yeah. 'cause
How
there's
many sexes are
you
there?
got the male, the female, then the other thing.
The other thing,
The unsure.
the undecided.
What Chris say earlier, the goat
It's a goat. Exactly.
The undecided.
bathroom.
Jesus.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know where society's going, man, but people got to stop being idiots.
Is that what it is? Is just being idiots?
Yeah, they just got to calm down and stop being so fucking sensitive and lighten up. We all get to take a dirt nap someday. Don't be in such a fucking hurry to get there.
So is this a matter of just lightening up? Is that really the case here? What is the solution, Randy? You're a man of the world. You've traveled. You've rocked out. You've entertained audiences. You've had experiences. So what's the answer to all this?
I feel like, was it Troy McClure on The Simpsons? You may have seen me in such shows as Wicked Heart.
Yeah.
Where are they now?
So what is the answer to all this?
People got to stop hating. But I mean, it's a no-brainer. Everybody knows. I think for the most part, when they're just being overall dicks and jerks and mean and all that. But,
I think that's very simplistic, though.
now the Bible says something about whatever you do, don't cut your hair.
Is that what it
So-
says?
Right? Wasn't that the topic?
I think it says
earlier?
guys have to cut their hair.
Right.
Girls don't.
Right.
No, there is no right answer, and that's I think the biggest problem nowadays, where everybody wants to keep things so open to where they forgot the common sense way of looking at things. It's almost like you say, well, it's snowing outside. Well, let's talk about it snowing outside. We got to go outside, and one person's like, well, I think we ought to wear coats, and another person's like, well, we ought to wear gloves. I'm not a coat person.
Hey, Randy, thanks so much for participating in this topic. It's been very interesting to this point. The fuck are you talking about?
He's off on he's on his own little tangent.
You said, how you gonna make the world a better place?
Yeah, well, how do you stop the nonsense? How do we
How
stop
do you
this
stop the
madness?
nonsense?
By wearing a coat in the snow, apparently. Jesus Christ.
You got so many people with so many opinions.
Well, how come it wasn't
I
like
think
this?
It's just a
how come
continuation of.
Well, how come it wasn't like this, say, even 20 years ago?
Because when we were kids, they beat our ass.
Is that right?
That's what it is. God damn it.
Jackal says everybody needs a good ass beating.
That's right.
That'll solve
Fucking
everything.
Get it while they're young, man.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Can't beat
Ben
your
Franklin
ass.
had it right. Spare the rod, spoil the child, right?
God damn it, when I was a kid, my old man beat the piss out of me. Can't beat your kids. Fuck that. I'll go back to school.
Nice.
I ain't no fucking faggot.
Bigot. Bigot.
Racist.
And I'm not a fucking shooting needles or any of that crap.
I think you need to sit in the Rockin' Randy chair over here, Jackal. I think
Well,
this next
get-
story is
yeah,
perfect
you gotta
for
get
you.
some stories off
get
your
me
chest.
going.
You need to get in here.
Yeah, come on
You
over
can
here,
sit in
man.
this chair. Here, take this chair, because I got to piss or I'm going to die.
Piss or die.
Fuck, I feel like
All right, people switching around here in the studio.